How'd you feel about that first verse?
Felt great. It feels good. I can hear myself great in here.
Kick ass. All right, let me start the computer.
The interesting thing about writing lyrics for me is that when I start writing lyrics, you kind of go into a place you're thinking about, you know, what the song is about and what you went through and the feelings that you felt, you know, descriptive things, but I don't always think I lose track that how many people could possibly read these lyrics or hear these words, you know. So it's always an interesting thing. When we did our first record, people were asking me about it.
There's no preconceived thoughts about what it should sound like, what it, you know, who, you know, what market you're going for. You know, you guys are making a record that is for yourselves, but you've almost chameleoned yourself into being your fans.
For sure, I mean, like the music and everything like that was, you know, kind of getting back to why you love the band in itself, you know, like the music and this and that, the rhythms and the tones, the emotions, you know, the vocals, you know, and I think it was really cool because this record is sort of like that for me, especially like the music side of it is rewarding.
You know, I get asked all the time what songs are about, what lyrics are about, but some of the message is sometimes disguised purposely, you know, but it leads somewhere, and I think sometimes in disguising lyrics that way, it makes it a more interesting ride and discovery for the listener. They relate it to them in their life, which is the great thing about being a listener, is
Totally.
capturing that and discovering that meaning. And some people do hit it spot on. And then another cool thing about, from my perspective as a writing lyrics, is listening to what some people think that it meant, and that's
meant to
not
them,
what it meant to them, and it wasn't what I wrote it about, or wasn't what the lyrics, wasn't what I experienced. But it's a fascinating thing to almost experience their story, and you see it from the whole flip side of like, wow, they took this line that way.
And you had no intentions
At all, yeah.
of
So that's,
even the line meaning that.
right,
Yeah.
which all ties back into just the beauty of not just music and lyrics, but creation, art. It's art of any kind of form. People take it and they, and they see it from different sides and different angles, which changes your view on it. So it's a fascinating thing.
I think there's a lot of excitement surrounding this record, and it's pretty cool to be a part of it myself.
I'm excited about it. I don't know about you guys.
Well, you get to play all the cool guitar parts.
Yeah, I know.
Mixing for us is the fun part, because we get to hear it just magically come to life.
And then we give him all his notes,
Yeah.
Oh, hey man, on minute 126, I think that.
Turn up the guitar.
I would never want to take as much time away from, a record as we did with the last one. But if anything good came out of it, is that almost a rediscovery of ourselves again, where you kind of get away from, the machine, if you will,
Mhm.
and because that can completely creep in and affect things, and then get around people like you that are like-minded people that aren't trying to make you do something different. They just want to show the
Help
world
you-
what you do. Yeah.
help you realize kind of like your message and your sound, which is a great surprise. I mean, working with Chuck, we've worked with great producers. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, you guys have worked with some super top-notch
amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
all of them, even like just the local guys that we hang out with and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, totally.
my best friend, but like, it was just really cool to get someone like Chuck, who's a producer, who's a writer, who's, he can play
In fact,
anything.
we come from the same era. Like,
Yeah, we like hair metal. It's funny how you use all of those little influences when we were, geez, like, I mean, what are, some of our favorite bands, like all the hair metal bands,
well, see, I grew up on bands like Skid Row, but those were the rock, the aggressive, the aggressive bands that I came up with, and that was before any of the bands that are out now. Those
Right.
bands didn't exist back then, and I mean, that stuff made me want to love music so much. But then there was also the Duran Durans that
Like the whole 80s
It's just
pop
the whole
thing.
80s thing, like
well,
those,
it's our culture, though.
yeah. I mean,
That's what we grew up on.
yeah. So the only time we have trouble getting anything done in the studio is when Chuck and I go off on our 80s tangents, and somebody will just start playing a song, and then next thing you know, we're in full chorus mode. So-
Harmonies, too.
Harmonies too.
Definitely. We do harmonies. But, growing up, this brings up a good point. How do you guys feel like, we all like bands like Tesla and
Well, you guys, man.
Yeah, James
okay,
actually grew up-
James likes prog rock.
When we're writing songs together, we're coming from two different places.
I mean,
when
that's-
I was listening to Skid Row
I was listening to
and Guns N'
different shit.
Roses, you were listening to.
I like the Slayers and Bad
And-
Brains and some of the new
Testament.
stuff. I did like Testament.
We all love
Um,
Testament.
Yeah, you were.
I was in the metal, and then I got into death metal, and then it was all over.
The one person who's not here right now is Jason.
Mr. Jason, the drummer.
Jason, I think, is the hugest compliment to this band. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
don't you guys agree?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
Jason is probably one of the most sickest drummers I've ever recorded, and I've recorded some pretty badass drummers, and I can tell you, his meter is sick. His choice of drum parts, I think, and you know what? It complements your band ever so well, because he hits so hard, but he hits right.
Yeah.
He knows how to hit his drums. And the thing is, he's grown up on a ton of different music.
Right.
He's actually I wouldn't call him a drummer. I'd call him more of a musician's drummer, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he's definitely a student of the drums. He's probably
Yeah.
the most technically sound on his instrument of anyone in our band.
I'm 98% done with your third record, and I don't even know how long you guys have been together as a band.
We've been together. Actually, Jason and I started the band. We started this band in '97, but Jason and I have actually been playing you know,
Some
just-
sort of fashion.
yeah, just him and I, like
Not just Trust Company.
not just Trust Company,
Right.
other bands that eventually came to form this one, but him and I have been playing exclusively together for
13, 14
it's
years?
been over 15 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been you know.
You
playing
guys
this
used to
with-
be in a Bullet Boys cover band, weren't you? Right?
Yeah, if I could sing Bullet Boys, all my problems would go away. No,
No, but you guys, you can tell that your band is seasoned. You know, I mean, you're
Yeah.
definitely not green.
Well-
you guys have toured.
yeah, we've toured a lot. James has been with us for over 10 years now, right?
Yeah, they had this needed metal guitar player, and I answered it.
Is that what the ad said?
No, I don't know.
Need to go top player.
With Jason, we were a three-piece for like.
guitar player for you. So what was before
Trust the
James
company.
joined the band? He's still going. Look at him.
What?
Before you joined the band, were you guys just a three-piece?
Just a three-piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, we were a three-piece for years from. I will say for years from about 97
7 to 2000.
2000.
Wow. I think you guys have grown quite a bit since your first couple records.
We've had some time to write. I think what a lot of people don't realize is that our last record came out in 2005, but the majority of that record was written and recorded in 2003. You kind of hit new stages as you go along, and this, I definitely feel like we've hit a new stage and recording it and listening to it come to life. Because if a musician, you write songs and you're always playing them and you're always writing and playing, but to stand back and listen to it from this perspective is always just a magical experience.
We're almost done with this record. What are your plans as Trust Company?
First goal is to get the record out, and then when it's out, is to tour.
So you guys are going to tour probably the majority of this year or next year.
That's the plan.
That's great. Come and check out the band and buy the record and come and see them on the road.